brings me round circle to my question that I began before I jumped into Lizzo. But I was just gonna say, like, how is it like you have again what people are looking for? Like people want new music, people and from whether it be like people who they don't know or in general. So like how does your marketing mind work? Like what is like the first thing you guys are like, all right, we have to attack here first, or have to like create a, I don't know, you don't see commercials. I don't know, like what walk me through. We just got a new artist. Like what are we looking at to do?
Yeah. So I think when an artist gets signed, they're still working with like their A&R staff. So like if they have music out, great. And you can get a feel for that and then get a feel for like who you anticipate their clientele is. And also all the streaming platforms do provide a lot of metrics as far as like what cities are like most popular, like what is the type of person, and all of that data is super helpful for us in order to better hone in on things that we can market towards or get more specific, right? And then once an artist has a body of work and trying to come up with how to like expose the masses to it in a way, you have your regular like ground that you need to cover as far as we're going to try and put them on a tour. Like if they're a young artist, trying to find someone else that they could open for, like that's always big. So tour support's a big thing. We like to get people out on the road, especially if we've seen them perform live already and like it really resonates with an audience. Like that's huge, just getting them in front of people. It helps, especially in this day and age, to have a social media presence in some way. TikTok is a term that's getting thrown around all the time as far as just like developing a presence for yourself and creating an identity for yourself, which is also really important, is like helping an artist figure out who they are. Like I know a lot of people who I work with in marketing here, they'll like sit down with their artists and be like, all right, let's do a vision board. Like show me how you feel you want to be. Like how do you want to portray yourself? What would it look like for you to be successful in like a year or two from now? So collaborating with them and helping them, decide what they want. So it's not just someone else dictating it for them, and also that they are like more deeply rooted in how they want to be portrayed is marketing in and of itself, marketing oneself. Other than that, we still do a lot of radio work. So we still have a staff of like a radio and promo team who are talking with regional, national radio stations all the time. People are still doing interviews all the time and getting their music out there for like quote unquote soccer moms who are like still listening to the radio, or like Uber drivers. Like you hop in an Uber, they're listening to something. And usually, at least in New York, it's not their iPhones. They're listening to something on the radio. So that is still going on. There's a lot of time and effort put into like video production, which is like music videos and video content. Usually trying to collaborate with a bunch of other like platforms as well. Like we do a lot of like work with Facebook and work with YouTube and stuff like that. Digital advertisements are big, and that's where like our digital team really has a hand. And that's where what I was saying earlier, like data gathering is really important. Like any information you can get from a consumer helps to just like drive in a particular direction for someone, so that we're not just like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks where. It's like, okay, now we actually have a target. So those are the top things I can think of, like videos, tours, still getting people out to late night TV shows if they can. That happens a lot. And I also think that anything that's like experiential, that's where marketers can get really creative. Like we were just talking about an artist who has a song coming out, and they were like, how can we get this guy on a float with a bunch of strippers for Pride and like play his music in Las Vegas? Like who knows a guy who's got a limo? Like who knows a guy that can connect us with this? So it is a lot of like a collaborative, like, well, what if, how could we do this differently? Maybe, while also combined with the fact like, hey, we can't spend $2 trillion on someone who has 4 songs out. So it's a balance between the two.
But that's everything though. Like that is everything, is getting creative and how to reach people in ways that they don't expect it or anything
Absolutely.
like that.
Especially when you're inundated. Like everyone, I think everyone is always starving for new music, but yet the market is so saturated with so many things. And so to really carve out something unique is simple but difficult at the same time, because there's so much that you could be buried underneath as well. And like someone who is really into crate digging or digging through music, I think it's easy to get really excited but also get really jaded when you're just like constantly sifting for something